is it acceptable to visit the Rebbeim of other chassidic groups?
It's an entirely personal question. I'm going to tell you a story. I'll tell you a maise, which is not the same thing as going to a Rebbe from a different kreis, but it makes a point which is even more sensitive. The Rebbe repeated the story by Farbrengen in public. And the story was that the Rebbe was standing outside the cheder, outside the room of the previous Rebbe for Yechidas, and a man walked out. And the man was very excited, very happy. And obviously the Rebbe asked him what was his excitement. So he told the Rebbe that he went into the Frierdiker Rebbe, to the previous Rebbe, and he said to the previous Rebbe, I want to be connected to the Alter Rebbe. This was his idea. I want to be connected to the Baal HaTanya, to the mechaber of the Sefer HaTanya, and the Shulchan Aruch, and the Miyased of Chassidus Chabad. So the previous Rebbe told him, zain mekushar zu mir, vestu bemeila, zain mekushar zu dir mit veleche ich bin mekushar. Attach yourself to me, and you'll be attached to those to whom I am attached, meaning all the way till the Alter Rebbe. So the Rebbe went on. The Rebbe told the story, went on. And the Rebbe said, I didn't say anything to that man. Father Chabdish Gewalt upkill. This was what he wanted. I didn't want to take away his enthusiasm. I didn't want to take away his warmth. But the truth is, what does it make a difference to me to whom the Rebbe is attached? I'm attached to the Rebbe, and that's enough. Meaning to say, a chassid of a Rebbe has no interest other than his Rebbe. It's not because his Rebbe is greater than the other Rebbe, he doesn't care about the other Rebbe, but because the relationship between a chassid and a Rebbe is so deep and so important that nothing else matters. And this is not eclecticism, this is not tasting different kinds of food. The connection in the chassid and the Rebbe is an atmiyas dika bond, and this is my relationship through the Rebbe to the tzaddik, to the nasi adar, I have a relationship with the Eibishter, and I don't have any other relationships. So any other relationships are immaterial to me. So what does the story reveal? The story reveals two truths. One truth is, you cannot take away from somebody else something which moves him, warms him up. And the other truth is, if you really understood the true meaning of a Rebbe-Chassid relationship, you would understand that this is an irrelevant question. A Chassid has his Rebbe, and that's it. He has no interest in anything else on a spiritual level. That means you can learn Torah from many people. You can be given ideas from many people. But a Rebbe, that means a Jew who teaches you how to connect to Hashem, who practically and also spiritually is the link between your neshama and Atmas Musa and Sav Baruch Hu, based on the principle of Mumutza Mechaber, there's only one. So what's true? What's true is depends on the person, depends on the place, depends on the situation. There's a lot of factors. You know, some people go to the Tishna of various Rebbes out of a curiosity. Some people go to the Tishna of various Rebbes out of a sign of respect, out of deference. These are real reasons people go to a Tish. And some people go to be inspired. And to take away a Yid from a Yid an inspiration is a mistake. You're a Chabad purist, or at least you talk the talk of a Chabad purist, so you don't want to tolerate it. So either you're holding on that level or you're not holding on that level. But to take away from another Yid, who in our time, where we live in a very, very orphan generation, where a Yid can get inspiration from wherever it is, to take away inspiration from another Jew, I think is an awful responsibility. Or to say it in different words, are you prepared to inspire that person, to supplement, to provide the inspiration you're taking away from him by cooling him off and telling him don't go here and don't go there and so on? The ideal truth is, the real truth is, and we know the stories, that in Chabad especially, a chassid has a Rebbe, period. And besides for a Rebbe, he has no relationships. The Rebbe said, our Rebbe said, as far as I'm concerned, above the previous Rebbe, there's nothing. And he wasn't saying this to be callous or to be radical. He was saying this to be deep. He was saying, I'm a Jew, and I'm a servant of God. And in order to be a servant of God, I need a mekusher, a Rebbe, a Nasi. And I'm not a nasher. I'm not in the business of being curious. I'm in the business of having a relationship with the Eibishter. My Rebbe is that entire relationship, and there's nothing other than that. And that's the real truth. I mean, you know, the stories There's a Maisa with Reb Nissen, there's a Maisa with Simon Jacobson. We're chassidim, we're in a maimed demata pekuach nefesh mamish. And they refused, they didn't allow that you should go and even ask for a tefillah, let alone a dvar and a lesson to another Rebbe. But in our time, this becomes a very, very sensitive question. In other words, you're asking me a question, and you're expecting a certain answer. And I'm not giving you the answer you want, because I don't think I should give you the answer you want. There is an ideal relationship between a Chabad chassid and a Chabad Rebbe. And I suspect that in the olden times, you would find such deep neshama relationships between non-Chabad chassidim and non-Chabad Rebbes, where it was very, very exclusive. But ideal and real are not always the same thing. And the reality of the world, if a Yid can be inspired, you have to think 100 times before you take away a Yid's inspiration. Now, there's an old chassidic expression, Kibam apam hargoish. To kill a person, all you have to do is make a krim mit nose, turn your face, your nose in a funny direction, and it's finished. This is a very big achrayas. If a person is moved by something, kill him it up, don't cool him off. Of course, it's part of our culture to do so, but it's wrong. It's insensitive and it's not thought through. In other words, a Yid is a chassid. His goal, his ideal, is that his kashas to his Rebbe should have incredible depth. Now understand, the chassid-Rebbe relationship is not an emotional relationship. It's not an intellectual relationship. It's a neshama, it's a spiritual relationship. Your neshama, the neshama of your Rebbe are bound. How many people do you know who are so in touch with their neshama that through their neshama they feel their Rebbe? The answer is very few. So we are Yossi, chassidis, through Maisa. We learn the Torah of the Rebbe, we follow the Rois of the Rebbe, we Farbrengen chassidische Farbrengen with fellow chassidim to strengthen our kashas to the Rebbe. But the spiritual bond which defined the great chassidim, where there was a neshama kesher to the chassid and the Rebbe, is very rare. It's a goal, it's an ideal. Every chassid wants to be a deeper chassid. But when you ask this question, is it wrong or not wrong for a Yid to go to a different Gutar Yid? The answer to that question is, it depends so much on where the person is. And the responsibility that one carries when you pour water, you upkill it, when you diminish the value, that the inspiration that this person got from somebody else, I think is very, very serious. And I don't think you can estimate how much damage is done when people make cynical comments trying to be, whether it's Chabad purists or Deira Shvi purists. I'm not saying it isn't true. I'm saying it's not the reality.